So I thought that because I was a robot, I would be immune to getting sick, but it seems like I have caught some type of bug, some type of virus, ladies and gentlemen. So if my voice does sound a little bit weird in today's episode, I think something is wrong with my pufferfish brain. Something has infected the pufferfish, and that has affected my voice box. But anyway, guys, welcome back to some more Truly Bedrock. I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode where we made ourselves a zombie and skeleton XP farm. If you didn't catch that video, I highly recommend going and checking it out. But in today's episode, ladies and gentlemen, we have a bit of catching up to do. In the last episode, we actually lost a fair amount of our supplies that we were using to decorate our base around here. We lost all of our coarse dirt, all of our brown concrete powder, we lost all of our flowers, and basically... Really? Rain? Really? Should I start playing some sad music? Oh man, as I'm talking about all of the losses that we have experienced, Minecraft decided, hey, let's just add in the correct tempo here. And in the last episode, we lost everything that we worked so hard to get. Anyway, we have a bit of catching up to do because we did lose a ton of supplies in the last episode, but I plan on getting a lot of those back. In fact, we actually have a present box over here that was left to us by Jesse. And if we break this box, you will see that it is called Prezi for Killa. So if we go ahead and set this baby down, this is the present that she gave us. And Jesse heard that I lost all of my decorative supplies. I lost all of my flowers, all of my 2-high flowers that I had went out and gotten for us. I even lost a lot of my gear. So she has been very kind in giving us a ton of flowers and also an iron shovel, an iron sword, an elytra, and some iron boots. So thank you very much for the present, Jesse. And I really, really love these flowers that you've given us here. And this is actually a pretty decent segue. Me and Jesse were actually talking about the marketplace and something that the market doesn't have that we can actually capitalize on, and that is what we're going to be working on in today's episode, ladies and gentlemen. It has been several months since the opening of Truly Bedrock Season 1, and nobody has found a flower forest. Until now. Jesse went out and found a flower forest off camera, and she agreed to send me the coordinates if I created a flower farm over there for us to start collecting flowers and sell in the shopping area. But because we're both broke and we both need diamonds, so yeah, this is a perfect segue, Jesse. I'm glad that you gave this to us because not only does it give us flowers for our decor projects, but it also gives me the ability to carry around all of the redstone supplies that I'm going to need for today just by emptying out this chest. And then I will also be able to kind of segue into that flower topic a little bit better. So I'm just going to empty all of the flowers into here for right now. We will use these up as kind of our personal stash, but today we need to go out and find that flower forest area and set ourselves up with a nice flower farm. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, so here we are in the flower forest that Jesse showed us, and this is where we're going to begin construction on the Flower Power 1.0. This is my flower farm design that works here on Truly Bedrock. Now, I'm calling it 1.0 because there are some ways that we can improve this farm with new designs in the future, but for right now, we're trying to get something that is extremely fast and efficient that is going to be able to get our shop started. And then any improvements that we can do in the future, we'll come back and do later on. But first and foremost, I need to take note of a couple of things around here. So first and foremost, I need to figure out which direction the farm needs to face. And the way that I'm going to do that is with these rails. So if we connect up rails next to each other, we want to see... Okay, so the default direction is in this way. So what we're going to want to do is build the farm facing this direction then, along this plane. So that is perfect. We know that direction now. That is how our minecart rails are going to be easiest to lay out. Another thing that we probably need to do is make sure that we are actually in a flower forest for the entire platform here. Now, it's going to be a little bit difficult to make sure of that, considering it looks like parts of this flower forest have already been harvested. I'm guessing by Jesse, but that's okay. I think that this area right down here looks like it's pretty close to all flower forest. If not, that over there most definitely is. And that over there on that hill most definitely is. This actually looks like a really cool looking spot to add some type of farm right on top of this area. I like that. It's a little bit of a ways away from the portal, but I guess we could always move that portal if we need to. But I quite like this area. I do. I quite like this. Ooh, they even have those weird looking flowers down there. Ooh. Oh, I like that. I like that area. That looks like a good area too. I don't know. I need to figure out where I want to build this thing, and I just realized I don't have an elytra, and I'm very high up here. This is not good. Do I have feather falling? I do have feather falling. We're good. Nice. Oh, man. But one thing that I need to make sure is that we do get all of the blocks that we're going to be using here, or all of the grass blocks inside of the flower forest biome, because otherwise there's really no point in having the farm. So I think setting up somewhere around this area, try and keep it at least a little bit close to the portal, is probably a pretty decent idea. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get started building here, and I will bring you guys back in just a few minutes when I have at least part of the machine built and ready to show you guys. Hey there, Kilodrome, what are you doing now? Well, I'm glad you asked, voice in my head. I am looking for a very particular set of flowers. Why, you may ask? Well, because I'm a dummy, and I didn't think to check into the flower forest biome and see exactly how flowers spawn in. You see, I just learned something very unique about the flower forest, and that is that, well, you see, whenever you have flowers that are spawning naturally in the world, let's take, for example, this pretty pink flower. And I go ahead and remove these pretty pink flowers, and I go ahead and bone meal this area. It looks as though a white flower can spawn there. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and remove all of this, and bone meal again, and bone meal again. Oh, more white flowers. Okay, that's fine. Absolutely perfect. Go ahead and bone meal again. Oh, more white flowers. Okay, not bad, not bad. Go ahead and bone meal this again. And, oh, hey, we got ourselves an orange flower and a white flower. Okay, go ahead. Oh, orange and white. Oh, we're not getting any other colors, are we? We're just getting these three colors over and over and over again. Oh, I see where the problem lies. You see, the problem lies that these things actually have a cross-section to them. So, unless you find an area in which it has every single type of flower in the flower biome in the area, you will not be able to make an effective flower farm for every type of flower. Which is a bit ridiculous. So I have been spending the last, 20 minutes or so running around trying to find a cross-section that has every single type of flower in it, which you would think would be really easy because there's not that many flowers in the game, except that some flowers only spawn in specific areas. You remember those lily of the valley flowers that I showed you a while back that looked really pretty next to that dead log? Yeah, apparently that's pretty much the only place that those things spawn, is near the dead logs. And finding those in a flower forest is relatively rare. So once you find them, you then have to also have the white flower, the pink flower, the red flower, these little oxeye daisies, and you're looking at an extremely low chance of getting every single type of flower in a particular subsection. Now, what is the answer to not have to do this in order to just skim by this and not have to worry about getting all of these different flowers in a particular subsection? Well, the answer is you would have to make multiple flower farms. And that's not really good for restocking our shop, so on with the search, I guess. And then if all else fails, then I will just bite the bullet and try to make more than one flower farm. I really don't have the materials to do that, to be honest with you. I barely have the materials to make one flower farm, much less going and making more than one. This is not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy at all. I thought that this up here would be a pretty good prospect. If we come over into this area, you'll notice that we have the orange flowers, we have the white flowers, we have the pink flowers, we have the blue flowers, and we also have the oxeye daisies and the little pom-pom looking things that I can never remember what they're called. So this has a fair amount of the flowers in it, but it is missing some other ones that are pretty, I would say they're important, such as the lily of the valley. It is missing, and it's also missing those guys, the opiums or whatever those things are called. Yeah, that's not in this subsection. So, yeah, that's a problem. Not to mention the poppies, the red flower. Yeah, this section has a lot of flowers, but it does not have all of them. So it's a good section, but not a great section. And I guess some of these other spots that don't have anything grown could theoretically hold a spot that spawns a red flower, but there's no real way for me to know that without just, see, there we go. This one can spawn a red flower. So that is good, but do one of them spawn a poppy? Because a poppy is going to be very, very much needed, I would imagine. I don't know. See, there's another orange. Yeah, it's very hard to find a cross section that has all of the flowers that you need. There's another oxeye daisy, but we need one of the opiums, whatever those things are called. I don't know my flowers very well. I don't know if you guys can tell. Yeah, more oxeye daisies and more pink flowers. Yeah, not looking too good for the home team here. Alrighty, ladies and gents, we are back here in this subsection that I was talking to you guys about a minute ago, and I've done a little bit of work around here with some bone meal, and I've just started bone mealing up a ton around this area to see what all flowers could spawn. And it turns out that this area is actually quite lucrative. You have 8 of the different types of flowers all crammed into this area. So we have the opiums, we have the little powder puff things, we have regular poppies, we have the red flowers, we have the oxeye daisies, we have the orange flowers, the white, the pink, the corn flowers. Yeah, we basically just have a ton. We have 8 of the total 13 of the small flowers available just in this small subsection. So I think this is the absolute perfect place to place a flower farm. Now we're going to have to do another one, if not 2 more flower farms in order to get the rest of the flowers for the flower shop, but this is a great start. Side note here, it's actually 9 out of the 13 flowers. I forgot that poppies and red flowers are 2 different things now, so we actually have 9 out of the 13 small flowers. Okay, so normally whenever I am doing a truly Bedrock video, I don't take you guys off site, but in today's video, I am going to show you the Flower Power 1.0 that I designed here in my creative test world, and sadly, this design is not going to work because of the flower issue that I showed you just a moment ago, where the flowers will not actually grow no matter what section of the flower forest you're in. Instead, they have specific spawning spaces. So this farm will not work because we're actually going to need to cover a much wider and a little bit longer area in order to get all of the 9 different types of flowers that are in that area. So this thing, while it's good, it is not going to accomplish what we need it to accomplish. Not to mention, this one also has some issues where the minecart track does not go underneath all of the blocks, so we do have some flowers that are left in the farm. So I'm gonna change this up, and we're gonna come up with Flower Power 2.0. Several design iterations later, and we are left with the Flower Power 2.0. This is my new and improved flower farm design that will allow us to capture all 9 of the flowers that are in this cross section of the flower forest. So let me go ahead and show you guys how exactly this farm works. And I guess we'll start off with how flowers actually work. So if we place a flower in Minecraft, in order to pick this flower up, we either need to punch it in order to pick it up, or what we can do is we can mess with the block underneath it. We can either move this block using a piston, or we can break this block and get the flower to pop off. Now, what we're going to use in this design is going to be a shifting floor. We're going to move all of these grass blocks back and forth over and over again in order to get the flowers to pop off. So basically what's going to happen is we have all of these pistons lining the sides of the grass blocks on each side. And what's going to happen is when we turn this farm on, the pistons are going to shift the floor this way, and then these pistons are going to shift the floor back the other way. So what you're going to have is the floor of the farm shifting back and forth over and over again, which is going to make all of the flowers pop off and be able to be collected. So in order to do this, what I did was I set up a simple redstone clock. So what we have is a lever going into a repeater, which goes into this block, which goes down here into this bit of redstone that powers across into this redstone torch. So what's going to happen is if we flick this lever, you'll see that we get constant pulses of this redstone clock over and over again. Now, in order to take a line out of this, what we're going to do is place a bit of dirt there and then just hook it up with a bit of redstone. That is this circuit completely done, and that is our shifting floor. Now, in order to power the other side of this farm for these pistons, I had to get a bit creative because if you use repeaters in Bedrock Edition, they are a bit random. So I actually went with a bit of old school redstone. So as you can see, all of these pistons are powered by a simple redstone line. And then as we come across here, going to the other pistons, I'm actually using inverters. So what's going to happen is if this line is powered, it's going to turn this torch off, which is going to turn this line off, which is going to turn this torch on, and then all of these pistons will power. Now, the reason that I did this is repeater timers are weird in Bedrock Edition, but by using inverters, we can pretty much eliminate all of the randomness because while redstone is a bit random, they're not as random as the repeater ticks. So this is a much better way, for the most part, to get reliable redstone to extend our redstone circuitry. So it's kind of old school redstone. I haven't used this since probably 1.8 in Minecraft, but it does work very, very well. Okay, so that is the shifting floor design all done. How do we get the flowers up top here? Well, that's relatively simple. What we have below is a bunch of dispensers that are facing upward toward those grass blocks, and we have some bone meal in them. I have 3 on the bottom platform, and I have 6 on the top platform because it is slightly bigger. Now, in order to get all of these dispensers to tick over and over again, we did not use a clock. Instead, what we used is an observer block facing up at these pistons. What that means is every time that these pistons update, that means that these dispensers are going to tick. So that means that every time that the floor shifts, then these dispensers will tick, which is perfect timing for the flowers to grow before the floor shifts again. So that is how all of our bone meal system will work. Now, last but not least, the collection system. And this was a fault of the last design, is that not all of the flowers and such were picked up because we were using a rail-based system. But in this design, we're actually going to be using water. That is what all of those dispensers at the back are for. If we hit this button down here, it is going to turn on all of the dispensers. All of the water is going to flow down and into those hoppers there for it to collect down here in this chest. So this is a relatively easy design, and while it is expensive, it works extremely well. So I have a bit of bone meal in this farm already. Let's go ahead and turn our water off, and I will demo the farm for you guys real quick. So if we turn this guy on, as you can see, all of the flowers are popping off of their blocks. All of the bone meal is being dispensed. And then whenever we are done running the farm, which will be in, I don't know, you can probably give it about 2 or 3 minutes of just constant running. What you'll do is you'll just flick the lever so that the floors stop, and then hit the button to wash all of your flowers off of the platforms and into the hoppers. Absolutely perfect design. Oh, I'm so happy that this works. It took me about 3 iterations of flower farms in order to make one that captures all 9 of these flowers. And it's actually a relatively simple design for the most part in order to get this thing to work. Oh man, that, ladies and gentlemen, has been a long, long project. Anyway, guys, I do hope that you enjoyed, but it is time for me to boot off for the night. I have learned a lot today about flowers and flower forests, but ladies and gentlemen, I need to use my machine learning tonight and learn some new skills. So anyway, guys, I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video, as well as if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have a great day. Oh, time to boot down.